Welcome to Morning Java here at DKPittsburghSports.com. I'm Chris Carter here with Lance Lysowski, our Pirates beat writer, and it's Monday, ladies and gentlemen. It's the Monday getting you ready for the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is in 2 weeks, Lance.
Yep.
But we're going to talk about both games in this aspect. We're going to start with the New England Patriots beating the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-20.
Well, me and you actually spoke about this before the game. I said there was no chance that the Jaguars would be able to beat the Patriots because of our buddy Blake Bortles. Mm-hmm. But, hey, they were in position to win this game until, of course, Tom Brady became Tom Brady.
I said you can go back and look at our podcast on the Steelers show this week, and I made a prediction. I said 24-23, Patriots beating the Jaguars. I spotted the Jaguars one too many field goals, but I knew it was going to come down to Jaguars are going to be aggressive. They're going to get confident. In the end, they're going to get a little too conservative like they did. And then Tom Brady, being Tom Brady, leads them down the field, throws the game-winning touchdown pass to Danny Amendola. I know most of Pittsburgh is sick right now, but on top of all of that, and the major storyline that I know is going to resonate all this week, James Harrison sacked Blake Bortles on the Jaguars' final offensive drive on third down. And now everyone's going to be talking about, oh, Mike Tomlin, you let him go, and that's what he did for you. Lance, exactly, your face is my face.
I don't know what to say anymore. No, Of course that would have happened, but it's not like he's the reason why they won that game. I mean, it's one play. It's Blake Bortles. You think Blake Bortles is going to lead them to the game-winning drive?
Right. They were going to find some way to make it happen with the other plays they had on the field. Harrison really wasn't effective at all that game until those last few plays. And people can say, oh, well, he did that. And credit to Harrison. He made a good play. He hustled through that. But other than that, Tony Romo gave him credit for a pressure he really didn't get because Trey Flowers got a sack on another play. But all in all, the Patriots did what the Patriots do. The Jaguars were the young team in the playoffs, and they weren't able. They got a little too conservative. Unlike what they did to the Steelers, they stayed aggressive against the Steelers. They pulled back against the Patriots, and the Patriots won.
I'm excited to see what the Jaguars are going to become next year, especially if they can find a quarterback, Chris, because that team with that defense,
it's scary. It certainly is. Now, on the flip side, going to the NFC, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to get their rematch. They've been hungry. I know Philadelphia fans, Lance. They've been hungry for a rematch with the Patriots for a very long time. Ever since they lost to them back in 2004, they finally get it this year. What a crazy way for this season to go for the Eagles.
Good for them. I mean, because you thought as soon as Carson Wentz got hurt that their season's over. There's no way they're going to do it. But this kind of shows you how good of a coaching staff that is. I mean, everybody, when Peterson was hired as head coach, everybody thought, oh, there's no way he's ready to run an NFL team. But when you're able to replace an MVP quarterback in the middle of the season and still make it to the Super Bowl, I mean, come on. And that offense doesn't have nearly as many weapons as some of the others you see around the NFL, especially the one in this city right here. No comment on that one. But, no, good defense. It's going to, with Nick Foles at quarterback, though, I'm picking the Patriots.
Yeah, the Patriots got to be the favorite there. But here's the thing. The defense are another team with an extremely good defensive front. You got Fletcher Cox coming up the middle. He's going to be presenting a problem for the Patriots. And LeGarrette Blount, he wants his revenge on the Patriots. There's a lot of storylines that are going to...
He wants revenge on everybody.
He just wants revenge on everybody. You're right. But at the same time, this defense is aggressive for Philadelphia. I think that I don't think they're as good as the Jaguars, but I think that they have the kind of weapons that can mess with the Patriots. But I'm still picking the Patriots in this matchup. All in all, must be a huge day in Philadelphia. Did you hear the police had to put Crisco on the telephone poles because they were afraid of Philly fans climbing up them. So hopefully no one got hurt tonight. Okay, switching complete gears. We just got done talking about the Super Bowl and the teams that are playing in it. Let's talk about another team in Pittsburgh, the Pirates. Lance, you've been covering the Pirates. Lots of action lately. Garrett Cole traded away. Andrew McCutchen traded away. But who did the Pirates get for these guys?
It's going to be... I like the trade hole in certain respects. There is promise there. Musgrove could be a really nice piece. Of course, he's going to be back in the rotation. He stunk in the rotation for the Astros last year. A couple of hard-throwing relievers in Crick and Feliz. Colin Moran's going to get the chance to be the starting third baseman. Let's just get this out of the way, Chris. Okay. They didn't get enough in either trade. I don't know if you can get enough for Garrett Cole when he has 2 years of contractual control, and you don't know how good he could be. I don't think you've seen the best of Garrett Cole yet, and the Pirates are going to end up kicking themselves for what they did. They traded McCutchen too late. If you're not going to try to compete, like they weren't going to try to contend in 2017. Right. So they should have traded him last offseason. But if you're going to have to do it this offseason, I guess
even less ammo to do it.
I guess
with.
Kyle Crick's okay. I think Brian Reynolds could be good, but I mean, you had to give up the $2.5 million just to get Brian Reynolds. But for this year in particular, I think the one player that everybody has to kind of keep an eye on, who I think will be the most intriguing, is Colin Moran.
Okay.
I think that power hitting third baseman, left-handed hitter, this team needed power, especially if you're going to lose Andrew McCutchen, who led the team in home runs last year. An impact bat, not much major league experience though. He tweaked his swing last season at AAA that really led to kind of a breakout until he got hurt a little after halfway through the season. So, at the very least, Musgrove and Feliz will be complementary pieces to the bullpen, but it's kind of I don't want to say a low risk, high reward, but with Musgrove in particular, I think his ceiling is pretty high. He could be a really good starting pitcher, but I mean, he hasn't proved he could yet. So, I mean, they're going to be really criticized for a while here, Chris. This is going to take a couple of years to really get a sense that, okay, how did the Pirates do in these two trades?
But, I mean, when are they not going to be criticized? People have been saying for years about this team, especially you got 98 wins, you do nothing to add to it, they fall apart, and now this is happening. It's like they were holding on to the ball when they didn't even have the lead. It's like, what was that?
Yeah, and the part, I think what they're getting criticized the most here is not what they got in return for these two players. It's the fact that they had these two players, two foundational pieces, on a really good team in particular in 2015, and they never added to it.
Never added.
And they sit here and say that they were trying to compete again in 2016 and 2017 with those two players, but they never added to that team when they easily could have kind of pushed through and tried to make a really serious playoff run. And of course, okay, you can sit here and say that they're not going to be able to re-sign players like that long term, but when you have them, you got to try to compete, Chris. I mean, you draft, you develop, you put yourself in position, and to just kind of say, okay, well, if we win, great. If we don't, then all right, in a couple of years, we'll try to reassess, which is exactly what happened.
Now it's time for What's in Your Cup, the segment where we take questions from you, the subscribers, posted under our videos, and answer them on the show. Lance, what's our question today?
Got this one's from Donnie Mason.
Donnie.
One of our better subscribers. I'm not going to call him better, but Donnie, I know you are. Good stuff, man. A number of people have commented that Tomlin is a great regular season coach, but needs more help come playoff time. What exactly is the extra something a coach needs to do well in the NFL playoffs? Is there something Tomlin displayed when he won it all he hasn't repeated in recent years? Great question.
That's a great question. I know everyone's talking about that. Should they fire Tomlin? Should they fire Keith Butler? All that. I think the biggest thing is you have to have the personnel. And the Steelers offensively have the personnel, but defensively they've had problems stopping the run, stopping the pass in key situations. You look back at that Super Bowl run, they had James Harrison, Lamar Woodley, Casey Hampton, Aaron Smith. They were coming from all sides. They were able to stop the run consistently. When you saw that against the Ravens, you saw that in the Super Bowl. They took away Larry Fitzgerald for 3 quarters. And I mean that's something that is really tough to do. That defense was in its prime. And also, I mean, for anyone that says that Tomlin doesn't make adjustments, Tomlin doesn't coach, he's the reason that the James Harrison interception return happened, because he went in the film room that week and said, look, we are not blocking enough on our returns. We have to get out in front and lead because we're going to need a play like that in the Super Bowl. That came out and happened. That's what happened. Now, again, yes, it was back in 2009 and when that game happened, but you have to look at the situations. Right now, the Steelers' defensive front, they're struggling. They don't have that centerpiece. They've struggled against the run throughout the season. I think that's the biggest thing is once they get that key piece back defensively and they can shut down the run, it becomes easier for the passing game to click. Plus, also, this defense is extremely young. I've been saying it all year. 7 starters they had with 25 or younger. Yeah. Artie Burns is another year older. Sean Davis is getting another year older. Cam Sutton's going to be working into this defense. Stephon Tuitt's another young guy. Lots of things that they got to work around. But Lance, I'm on the side of I don't think it's anything that Tomlin's lacking.
Yeah, in recent years they've missed key players in the playoffs. I know, and it's not on Tomlin always, because there's times where, like this year, they went into the year knowing everybody knew that their depth at inside linebacker wasn't good enough.
It was required that Ryan Shazier and Vince Williams both stayed healthy,
and it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Those things happen. And then in the playoffs of recent years, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell. I mean, they've missed key players in playoff games, and you need your best players. And when they won it all, it takes a perfect storm. It's not easy to win a championship. Right. I mean, it's as much as it's you win 3 games and it's a Super Bowl. No, this is football.
And there's other great organizations out there, but you're absolutely right. They were one step from beating the eventual Super Bowl champion Broncos in their stadium but they lost because a fifth string running back fumbled after getting a first down in the fourth quarter.
Not only on Tomlin, I think that it goes to Kevin Colbert at times too. I mean, the drafting, I think the Steelers are getting closer. Don't get me wrong, the drafting has been so much better the last couple of years, Chris, in terms of getting impactful players in the later rounds, but you need more depth in certain areas, and whenever they have one of those areas where they just don't have enough, it seems like that's where they always get an injury.
I agree, but we'll be talking about a lot in this offseason. I got a lot of
They're getting close to their guys, for sure.
They're getting. Thanks for the great question. Be sure, if you want your question and what's in your cup, be sure to leave a question in the comment section below this video. From Chris Carter and Lance Lysowski, happy Monday, everybody.